one, we haven't really talked too much about the card game, and that could definitely be something that I think we could and should do in a future episode when all four of us are here.
Yeah. Yeah, like I actually had that idea like a long time ago. I don't know. It kind of just came and went, I guess. Because like I just think it'd be interesting to play a drinking game and record it. Because like we've all played a drinking game before, but no one's. I don't think anyone's ever recorded it and watched it
Yeah.
back and watched the different personalities shift.
Oh, bro, yeah, this shit. About that. Man, part of me the only Natalie is seen, and maybe my cat might be exposed on that day. Nah, man, it's good. Yo, just imagine us like spending the whole time like fighting for snippets.
Yeah. Trying to go viral. Oh yeah, speaking of which, that clip that I posted on YouTube of Mark's talking about Joe Rogan
Oh yeah,
got
yeah.
like it's got like a I mean not that it's not a lot compared to like the YouTube world, but it's a lot to us. But it got like
Yeah.
1,000 views in a day, and it just was funny because its topic just happened to be Joe Rogan. So, and if you look at the you know how YouTube doesn't show you how many dislikes video has anymore,
Yeah.
but I mean the account user can still see their own, So I looked
Mhm.
at it just to see what the likes versus dislike was.
Yeah.
So it was only 32% likes, and it was like 60 something dislikes.
Really?
Yeah, I knew
Damn.
that. You know, how
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what's funny is he didn't even say anything bad about Joe Rogan. That like he
Yeah.
wasn't like dissing him. He was just saying that he's just really not that interested. And it wasn't even about the race thing. It was well, that's all. It was a very neutral
Yeah.
statement. That's why
Everybody,
I found it interesting.
everybody creating that protective shield. And I'm saying this, and I'm a fan of Joe Rogan. Y'all know that. I
Mhm.
like Joe Rogan. But I listen to it and I don't feel like he said anything. Like everybody can have their opinion. He said Marcus is should be allowed to express
He
his
didn't slander
opinion
him.
about somebody. Yeah, no, yeah. He should be allowed to, I feel like, without getting a lopsided a
Yeah,
landslide of dislikes versus likes. But I guess
yeah,
people have the right to have their opinion to dislike what we say. I guess
of course.
I don't know. It's an interesting world, man. But there's definitely a about 60,000 bulletproof vests on California Joe right now. But yeah, it's like he didn't even bring up the crazy hot topics that are out there. Out there really criticizing California Joe
Yeah,
at the moment.
yeah,
Yeah, but
but
though that'll be a really cool episode, man.
yeah,
And
that,
like we
that'd
were
be a
talking
cool.
about. Oh, go aahead,
I
my
think that
bad.
would be a cool 100th episode.
Ooh, okay,
I think
okay.
maybe, or no. You know what? That'd be a good because typically we're on break over Christmas and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
that would be a cool New Year's. I mean,
Ah,
if we're not doing like if we're not actually doing something, I mean, we
we
can
gonna have
do it. We can do it like the day before and lie and say it was New Year's.
yeah. Or yeah. Either that or like which whether we do it on New Year's or do it the day before live, both of which I am completely co-signed. Really put my hand to God. I'm all about it. But
Yeah,
yo, we should like start planning and just letting everybody know ahead of time. I don't give a fuck if it's 2 years ahead of like
yeah,
yo, that has to happen. That's a great idea, man.
yeah.
That is a
That'd
great idea, bro. I love
be,
that. I
be a
love that.
bonus episode.
I'm gonna be on that bitch with garlands and shit. Who knows what else? A top hat, maybe some real maybe a real Jesus piece. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, but like kind of on this topic, but not kind of, I guess, kind of veering off. But it just got me thinking because you and I were talking about how one, that website exists, the website that you made that game on.
Mhm.
Like neither one of us, like I would not have imagined that existed. The fact that you can
Yeah,
create a game and sell it on the website like that, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just didn't hit my consciousness. You
yeah.
know?
And for me, and like I'm not complete. I don't fully remember how I even found it, but I knew at one point I wanted to make a game. Like I've always been interested in making a game or app, and I think I want to make that card game into an app. Um,
That'd be so dope.
I can't because it's honestly it would be perfect for it's set up to be an app. Honestly, it wasn't on purpose, but just the way the cards look, it looks very appish. But
Title.
But anyway, yeah.
Appish.
Yeah, it's funny. Crap, what was I saying?
You said it might
Oh
even
yeah,
be it might even be
website.
a better app than game.
Yeah, but before that, I was saying like before I wanted to make a game, so I think I probably at some point just type in how to make a card game, and then this website pops up of like that where you can make the card game through. Like they give you like templates depending on like the type of card. Like you can have rectangular cards, square cards,
Mhm.
uh, hexagonal cards, which my cards are a hexagon. For one, I thought it looked cool, but two, well, first off, the game's called Colors,
Yeah.
and the logo is a color wheel, which has 6 colors. So I thought
Ah,
hexagon was perfect because it fits
yeah.
in. So it was just perfect, honestly.
Hey, real
Um,
quick, I got a question about that though. Like, does it have a case? And does the case have to be hexagonal too?
no, the box
Or
it comes in a box.
a box? Yeah.
It comes in a square box, but the cards fit like perfectly in it.
Mm,
So it's not like
gotcha.
it's wobbling around in there. So
Okay. I was just trying to see how all out you went.
oh no
Some
no.
diamond, something that Pharrell would have had circa
Uh,
like 2006.
yeah.
Diamond encrusted Rubik's cube or something crazy.
Yeah, yeah. That was an interesting era. Like people were just putting diamonds on whatever they could find, like
Yeah, dude.
phones, well, obviously watches, uh, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was talking about the game. So yeah, I mean, so I guess for people who don't know, because I think we just started talking about a game.
Yeah.
So some years ago, I created a drinking card game, a card drinking card game, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Drinking comma card game. No,
yeah,
fuck it. This is
yeah,
informal as hell. We're not about to do
yeah.
this.
So yeah, we made a game like that. And it's called Colors. And I was telling Aaron earlier, an example of a card is different cards that tell you to do different things. But an example card would be like there could be like a red flag card. There's like 3 flag cards. I forgot what colors they are. It's like red, yellow, maybe green. Um, but anyway, so like if you was to pick up a red flag card, everyone in the circle or whatever in the group, you go around the circle and each person says a flag that starts with a a flag that has red in the color, state or a country. So like, someone says Mexico, somebody says uh America, someone says nothing. They can't think of one, that person has to drink. It's like that. So it's pretty much it's a very simple game. It's not complicated at all. Um
Yeah,
yeah.
dog. It can't be. Yeah, we were talking about how like the drunker people get, like the
Yeah.
easier the fucking game has to be.
Yeah.
At
But
some point, it's like let's just stop reading and
that's the cool thing. It's just challenging enough because, for example, I mean, we talk about the flag cards. Like, I would bet and say most people, you know, don't know the colors that are in more than 12 country flags. I mean, so
true.
it can get complicated, especially if you are a little tipsy. Like, you're not going to be able to think of, okay, what countries has the color yellow in their flag.
Yeah, I
I
can
know a
think.
lot just because I'm a nerd and I like countries and geography and stuff like that. I can name a lot of them, but
Uh,
I guarantee you the average person probably, you know, even say
Absolutely,
flags. When it,
I'm co-signing for that because I don't know that, bruh. I was
yeah.
about to say like, let me see. I think doesn't China have yellow and red in it?
Hmm. Yep.
And I think Canada has red and white with like
Yep.
the maple
The
leaf.
maple leaf. Yep.
Outside of them, out like in America,
So,
Mexico.
well, red is the easiest one. So, like,
Yes, true.
uh,
That's a good point.
I think
That's a
I
good
think
point.
I think it's like factually, I think red is the color that's in the most countries' flag.
Okay. And you did that
So
consciously for that
on
reason?
purpose. So
Okay. Yeah.
each type of card has 3 colors, and I made it where like there's an easy quote easy card, there's a medium, and there's a hard. So like
Ah, nice.
so for example, there's a food card in there, and there's a green food card. There's a ton of fruit and vegetables that are green, so that's the easy one.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think there's a purple food card, which is,
Mm.
I mean, there's a few, we know we can name a few purple foods, but there's not like an
Yeah.
abundance of green. So that's
Yeah.
supposed to be
If
like
you've
the
ever
hard
been
one.
on Instagram and you see all those goddamn what the fuck is it called? What is it called? Oh my gosh, what's the vegetable that everybody uses that emoji to like
Eggplants.
substitute? Yeah, the substitute for
Yeah.
putting the
Yeah.
for laying the laying the wood,
Yeah. So
laying the lumber, son, laying the lumber.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it's like that. It's super simple, but like I was saying earlier, I want to make a kind of like a volume 2 to make it more user friendly, but also to take some cards out that I don't find as effective and replace them with ideas that I've had. Because I have played it with different groups of people. So
Yeah, that's dope. You were saying that like different groups of like different
age group,
demographics, different age groups.
yeah,
Everybody likes it. I mean, that's what you call market research right there, dog.
yeah. Now,
That's how you get your data.
I mean that is true, and to be fair, it's not like I've gone on a countrywide tour. I mean, like I
Yeah.
played it with like
In a coach
my
bus.
sister-in-law and her friend and my wife and and yeah, and older people. Yeah, I don't need to go in those details, but yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, I mean, in the times that I've played it, everyone seemed to have gotten a good time, gotten uh at least buzz, if buzz plus,
Yeah.
buzz or more.
Hell yeah. So you haven't had anybody get crazy yet, I guess it's just because you like I'm assuming if people well, I guess first of all, let me ask the question. How does you win if you are the least tipsy because you've gotten the most answers right? Is that
I
the
mean,
idea?
honestly, this is a true game where there is no winner.
Oh, okay.
Or
Okay.
I mean, literally everyone is the winner because the
Okay.
the it's this is I
No
guess
child left behind.
I guess this could be the slogan, I guess, or the mission statement. I don't know, but the idea is that everyone finishes the game uh buzzed or feeling better than they started. I guess that's the
Hey,
point. That's the point
all
of the
right.
game.
All you listeners out there, nobody take that fucking idea. Don't take
Yeah.
the slogan. Don't take the game idea. That shit is certified, copyrighted, and trademarked right here. You heard it here first. You heard
Yeah.
it here first, yo. You heard it here first. Y'all motherfuckers out there reaching. No. Keep your hands in your pocket. Keep your hands in your pocket and get out of mine. Get out of my man, son.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about this falling on the ears of that many people. So I think
Yeah.
you're safe.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's
But
probably true, man. But I'm speaking from the future of 17 million plus. You know,
okay.
17 million plus, yo. No, that's really, really dope, dude. And I just think it brings up an interesting idea for me on how like some of the first times where I realized that something was possible that like I had never even really conceived of. And it's not even something crazy. It's fairly simple. I never contemplated I had the option of actually getting into said thing, you know?
Yeah.
Why? Just because like we both agreed that like I it's I had no fucking clue there was we all knew we played games growing up.
hmm
You go to fucking Toys R Us or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You get it for
Yeah.
Christmas or whatever. And I just never thought that there's a site that allow you to make your own game and sell it. Like some things, I guess it just shows how limiting we can like them, you could be sometimes. And it's not even because you're trying to, it's like not like I'm feeling bad about it per se. It's
hmm
just what you don't know, you don't know. What did Maya Angelou? Was it Maya Angelou who was the first person or the person who made that popular? When you know better, you do better.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Look, well,
I wish I did.
shout out to Maya Angelou anyway,
Yeah.
man. She was great. She deserves to be spoken about on this podcast. So, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to her. But I was telling Adam off the record, off the record. That
I'm listening, by the way. I'm just looking up that game site just in case anyone's
oh,
interested in
for sure.
making their own. But
Yeah. It just sounds so professional when they say like for any we'll get that info. We'll get that info and we'll make sure we have it in the show notes for you guys afterwards. It just sounds so official when they say that.
It's called the gamecrafter.com.
Gamecrafter.com.
If you're interested in like making and getting your own like board game, this is not an ad, by the way. It should be because this sounds like an ad. But if you're interested in making your own like card game or board game, you can actually go on this site and they have like templates. Now you gotta be able to create the graphics yourself. So I mean, luckily I was able to do that for myself. But I mean, so you would have to be able to find someone that could do the graphics if you can't do them, and then you would send it in to them. Then they can print it for you. And of course, you got to pay for it, but it's also set up where you can actually they have a store on the site where you can go and buy and sell other games that people have made. And some people actually make a lot of money from this that are really like legitimate
Yeah.
game makers. But
That's so cool. And it just adds to like the idea that nowadays there are so many ways to make money outside of what's conventional, man. That's so
yep,
fucking cool. And speaking of another way of making money, if you are that individual who wants to go on this website, make a game, you don't have that artistic ability to create the graphics yourself. I'm putting Adam on the spot right now. My man is a beast. He can do it for you, but it's gonna be a hefty charge. Son. Don't come up in here. Don't come up here for nothing under 200. You know, don't slide his DMs for nothing under 200. All right.
per hour.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Hashtag no salaries per hour, motherfucker.
It's funny.
By the way, I thought of a bar earlier when I said laying the lumber. I said, yeah, this is probably about to be whack, and I can't believe that I'm saying it like mid-recording. But she said she wanted me to lay the lumber, so I hit it twice by 4 p.m. 2 by 4? 2 by 4? All right, I'm done. I just had to get that off real quick.
No, that's clever. That's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old dimensional lumber reference.
Yeah. I had to get that off mid-episode. By the way, speaking of mid-episode, man, I guess we should go ahead and give some sort of introduction so all the new folks know what the hell they're listening to outside of our very attractive voices.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't look in the eyes of my brother without shedding.
Yo, welcome back. This is the InforMILLy Honest podcast. Typically, it's 4 of us, 4 brothers, different mothers, same level of tenacity. Yeah. I'm about to switch this one up. All 4 of us are hyenas in the game. It's about too much swear in the morning. No, y'all, we come together. It's typically it's 4 of us. Josh and Marcus couldn't be here today. Wish them well, of course, as always. So it's myself, Double A, for all you who are only listening and not watching. I got my homie Adam as well.
What's up? Good morning.
Yes, indeed. And we come together to have conversations. Now, they could be about, we cover a wide range of topics. Not all of them are super necessary, but all of them per se, meaning, everything is not so relevant to what's going on outside, but it's relevant to our living experiences. Very, very relatable. And what's most necessary is the way in which we go about it. We try to maintain an atmosphere of being forthright, vulnerable, and honest. Those are our 3 principles, and God damn it, we'll stick to them. All right. At least we do our best. And for all you who already listen, of course, thanks again for coming back for another week, man. We're here and we ain't going nowhere. So you should get to know us. Shout out to the game. I think I'm gonna leave Marshall alone. Leave Marshall out your motherfucking mouth, yo. Leave Marshall's name out your mouth, bro.
The game, I feel like every couple years he tries to insert himself in like the spotlight in some way or another.
He does, dog. He
thought
does.
He retired.
It's a hell of a rollout for an album. It's a hell of an album rollout.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I really like the game. Like, remember, he was I chose one of his albums. Like, I don't know shit about gangster rap, but he makes that shit sound so cool, dude. He's a rap. I think he's lyrically talented.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
In my mind, he's been consistent the whole time. Like, I don't feel like he fell off from I don't feel like he fell so far ever for people to really realize, like, oh damn, he fell off. Like for it to be that noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always been a fan, but come on, man. You also gotta know where you ain't. You also gotta know where you ain't, bro. Take it easy, son. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Anyway, man. Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, you good. I want to talk
Okay.
about gaming.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I know how we get. We can talk about music, bro. It's about to be like the
Yeah.
But just getting back to what we were saying before we had our, we wanted to give a quick introduction, man, just for the new folks. And we know that the folks who already follow, we know y'all gonna rock with us anyway. So, but getting back to what we're talking about, man, is like we're talking off the air about just different things that I guess a simple way to say it is like maybe I limited myself in this way of thinking, but I remember. So I talked previously on a podcast about my girl and I doing a year of traveling. We did damn near a full year of traveling, and one of the ways we made it a little cheaper is to do what is called WOOFing. It stands for Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms. So essentially, before you go somewhere, let's say you plan on going to a national park and you want to stay there for long. You want to stay there for a longer period of time without spending a lot of money. It's in Washington. So you would find someone who has a woofing farm fairly close to the park in Washington, like we did, and you agree ahead of time and what work you're willing to do and for how long, and then what they're willing to give in exchange. So we would work on this woman's homestead. She also made money. She also made money via Airbnb. So we'd help her with daily activities, and in return, we got a free place to stay and eat. So essentially, room and board. You want to get all these details taken care of ahead of time. Now, I'm so glad I caught wind of that, but like when I first heard of it, I was telling Adam how it was like a mind fuck. My mind was blown because I just never would have thought myself could be a farmer. As funny as that sounds, it's just one of those things where agriculture has been a part of America for as long as we can remember. Super, like really fucking long, but some things just never entered my consciousness in the sense of like
started forced agriculture.
yeah, exactly. It just never entered my consciousness as like a real possibility, and that kind of like when you were talking about there's a fucking website where you can build a game yourself. I'm like, me? Really? Like, I remember being on the bus, like the shuttle going to and fro from class on campus, and somebody told me about it, and I looked that shit up and was like, it was on from there. It was on like Donkey Kong from there. But
I've never understood that metaphor.
Me either, dude.
That one's never been a good one for me.
It's
a pretty lazy one.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not attempting at you, by the way. Just whoever.
No, of course. It's like, no worries. It's just, I mean, it doesn't take long to realize that like it doesn't necessarily make sense.
Yeah.
For Donkey Kong specifically, to be the only one. Does he operate with a different level of intensity? And then,
his gravity is I don't know.
No, like he just
gravity is.
Yeah, I guess is Super Mario just is Super Mario just not enough? So it's like we gotta jump straight to. But like I just think it's interesting, when you have, and it wasn't like I had grown up I was telling you, like all my friends and family knew that when I grew up I wanted to be a farmer per se. Wasn't something I was training for my whole life. But when I heard that like this movement was going around to like teach people how to live a little bit more of an organic lifestyle that's with the planet and not necessarily against it, kind of in the same what is the saying? In the same grain, I guess. Is that like the saying with wood? You don't go against the grain, so like in the same grain, I guess. Yeah. I just thought that was so interesting, and your car story kind of made me think of that same thing. It's like I remember being younger and like looking at Time magazine because I used to always have a lot of like Time or National Geographic. Like there was an article of like farmers around the world, and I just remember thinking like, man, I could never do that. I was like, but why?
Is that something that you
Why?
wanted to do though? Like
That's the thing.
like
I don't know.
as a kid, I'm saying.
Yeah, I had I think it was one of those things where I didn't even see it as a possibility for me.
Yeah.
Like it honestly never was like, because when I would see them in articles, I'd be like, damn. But I don't know if I was like gung ho about it. I tell you one thing, I guess these kind of go hand in hand. It's weather, it's environmental related. But I used to want to be a meteorologist
Okay.
for a little bit when I was younger. So maybe they go hand in hand because you got to know when it's just gonna rain, it's gonna be a drought, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just think it's like that's worth bringing up. I was wondering if you had any of those particular instances where you remember offhand, it's like, damn, like this is actually a real possibility.
Honestly, that's a hard one. Because I want to say yes, but then I want to say no at the same time. It's really, I I guess honestly, I could honestly say the same thing you were saying about woofing. I never done woofing before, but when I first heard of what it was, I was still shocked. Like I didn't know that was a thing. So
Yeah.
so I was started thinking about like like what I could do like to do that because I was interested in doing it. I just never did. Um, Now I feel like I'm almost trapped to a point where I couldn't do it even if I wanted to be honest, which kind of
Mm.
sucks coming to that realization. But um, but I always thought it would be cool to do it, but like do it in like other countries. Like
Yeah,
so, like
dude.
if like for example, if I wanted to go in to South Korea, for example, because that's my favorite country hands down.
Mm.
So like I would definitely do it there. There's plenty of farmland. Like most of that country is farmland and mountains. So um, I mean it's plenty. I would do it there in a heartbeat, as long as I was close enough to like a city. Because I remember when I was there back in 2015, I was in the southern part of the country, in the middle of nowhere, and it was kind of boring. But I guess the point I'm making is I didn't know that existed, and it was interesting realizing that man, you could actually travel the world and do this for
Yeah.
relatively cheap. Of course, you got to pay for your
Your
airfare, which
travels.
is
Yeah.
expensive. But I mean, once you're there, like you were saying, you get room and board essentially, and then typically you get weekends off, so you could
Mhm.
go see the city or
Surroundings.
countryside or
Yeah.
yeah. And my sister actually, I guess I can say it in this way too. Like my sister actually sort of put me on to what she call it, a volunteer vacation.
Mm.
So that's pretty much the only thing she does now. Like I think I get my like interest of traveling from her. In fact, I know I do. Um, she was the first person to take me outside of the country. Well, it was to Puerto Rico, which is outside of the 50 states. So I'll say
Yeah.
that, but still in
It
the U.S.
feels
territory.
it feels like it's outside of the country.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. So yeah. So she took me there when I was 13. So that was, and ever since then, I was like, this is cool. Like I've been interested ever since. But anyway, so going back to her, about like 10 years ago, she did her first volunteer vacation, and she's like, since that, like that's all she does. Like
Mm.
she'll only do that. So like, if people that's listening that might not know what that is, I mean, it
I was about
sounds
to
kind
ask
of
that
obvious.
because
It's kind of in the name, but all it is, I'll just explain what she did. So I think the first one she did was she went to South Africa, and she was volunteering at one of the wildlife preserves where like they rehab animals that have been uh like hunted or
oh, like poach. They were like
yeah,
poaching. Yeah.
yeah, it's like they might have like something they might were attempted to be hunted or maybe
Mhm.
it was like they were shot but they didn't die, but the poach never actually stuff like that or just
Gotcha.
any type of rehab. So she was doing that and she was helping like I think lions. So there's pictures. She's got pictures of her like with these full size lions like in the in like the cage with them. um,
Damn, yeah, bro.
yeah.
That's
So she's that type. She's out there in that way. Um,
yeah.
but
Damn,
yeah, the
son.
volunteer. I didn't even know that was
A
the thing.
bulletproof vest ain't gonna help, man. Ain't gonna-
I mean, she was in Marines for 10 years and then the Army for 12. So she retired recently.
Oh,
So
nice, man.
she's tough.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
Damn. So interesting. Well, the cool thing about that is you can still do it. What do I mean? Speaking of Washington, when my girl and I spent 3 months in Washington, we came across a woofer who was like in her 70s, bro. Like
dang.
so they're all it's I think it's all about when you reach out to the host, what understanding you two can come up with before you come. You know, like and they're gonna obviously like they're gonna come. What's gonna come to mind to them is how are you able to function daily being that old, blah blah blah, you know? And
Yeah,
this
well,
lady happened to be like a master gardener, or you know, like after you get a certain amount of hours of experience, you can become a master gardener. So she had a lot to offer in that way.
Oh yeah, she's probably teaching her stuff at that point.
Definitely.
But no, I was gonna say for me, it's definitely not an age thing. It's more so like I feel like it's so hard to get, because for me, like when I do travel, unfortunately, I was spoiled when I was in the military, and I was able to take these longer vacations that you just can't take in the civilian workforce.
Yeah.
So I like traveling for like 2-3 weeks at a time, and it's like I'm not gonna be able to do that, and that's what I would want to do.
Got you.
So
okay.
So that's the one that might be the biggest perk, or if it's not the biggest, definitely the top 3. Is being able to take longer vacations. You know.
Got you. Okay. Well, I guess the side note is, you can. I wonder what they got going on in Chicago. There might be some even in Chicago or in the
You're right.
Chicago area.
Yep, you're definitely right about that. Yep.
Like that's the cool thing about it, being in the U.S. and international.
Yeah. Yep. And I was thinking, like, you could definitely find workarounds. You could do it for a week versus 3 weeks or.
Yeah, some folks just came for a weekend when we were there.
Yeah. Yep.
Just as like a place to stay, and they contributed for that weekend and left, And then you get those assholes who we came across in our travels too, who literally just want a place to park their car and go to sleep and have no desire to do any work. Any work. Like to the point where like Nat found this one, and we had told the guy we were going to be there for like maybe 6 days. So we'll just call it a week in Cali before we moved on to our next destination. And we agreed on what we were willing to do. Now he was like a longtime painter, but at the time which is really cool. I wish I could remember his name was Howard something. I wish I would like shout him out. His watercolor paintings were incredible, dog. They were incredible. But unfortunately, when I had gotten there, he had he hadn't been painting for years as he got older, and things were getting a little harder or whatever. From like movement wise and shit, like mobility. So age was kind of tearing him down in that way. I'm sure, as well as lifestyle, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But he was like, he had this thing. I forgot, it was like an acronym. I can't remember it now. But like, he would have paints already out like on this property, like kind of in like the breezeway going into his backyard. There would be like paint and paper, and almost anybody who heard of it, like people in the town, would just come and just start painting and then leave. Like he just had it open for everybody to encourage them to do art, right? And so that part was really cool. But we did a little bit of work in the garden. So Nat, knowing that I was interested in the arts, of course, wanted to pick that one for at least a week so we can get the experience. Other shit happened. We met some interesting people along that way. But one couple in particular, I'm wondering if those motherfuckers had ever done a moment of labor, a moment of getting their nails dirty, a day, a moment in their life. And if that's not your thing, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's no judgment. I like luxury too, but I also like to get dirty. I'm gonna just stop there because it's not. I'm about to be a fucking meme, bro. Let me just stop there. I like that. I try to appreciate both worlds, is what I'm saying. Anyway, so they pull up. Doesn't matter if they have a beautiful Audi, whatever. I like cars, they're gorgeous, whatever. But this is just adding info to the story, is all.
Yeah.
First day, they pull up and they see Nat and I doing some pruning in his garden. Because we agreed to do some fucking work.
Yeah.
To stay there. We agreed, and that was what he asked us. one of the things he
Mhm.
asked us. They asked us, "Oh, where's Howard? We're just checking in, blah blah blah." We point him, we sent him on to Howard. And like the thing about this guy is it was easy to take advantage of him because he was getting older, getting a little less aware, and a
Mhm.
little bit more careless, to be quite honest. So
Yeah.
like he would say things and then forget, and you could just be like, "Yeah, I did the work, whatever." And he'd just be like, "Whatever." Like he was he
Yeah.
was he was he was that out of it. He'd be so out of it sometimes, and then he'd be sharp, and then he'd be out of it again. So it's
Okay.
like so everybody, some people were definitely using him, and it's
Mhm.
like it's not funny, but it's the way they went and did. So they go in, talk to Howard, we're assuming, get settled in, and they come back and they're like, they come up to Nat and I are like, "You guys are actually doing fucking work, dude." Yo, we're like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" And the dude goes, "Yo, we plan on being out of here in like 2 days, bro. Fuck that. We're just trying to get a place to sleep." I'm like, "Fuck you for actually
It's like,
telling me that, bro."
I think it's this: if those are your intentions, and you see people working, why would you reveal that? Like,
That's
why would
exactly
why wouldn't you just keep it like, well, let me keep that to myself if that's my plan. I'm not gonna that to me, people that they're just unconsciously just like, uh, yeah. I mean, they
no,
showed you who they were, so
exactly. And
they showed you
it
exactly
was
who they
some
were. So.
it was some foul shit. And it's like, because I liked the dude, he was cool. Like there was a couple nights where we stayed up to like 3, 4 in the morning, and I was just asking him about his life. You're just talking about life. You meet somebody and they have interest, you catch them in sometimes it helps to have when you don't know the person and new, like especially if somebody's willing to talk about themselves, you can learn
Mhm.
all kinds of new things about somebody, like how he started painting, all kinds of shit.
Mhm.
And he was pulling out all kinds of artwork, and I finally had to go to sleep. Even my long-winded ass had to finally go to sleep. I'm like, bro, that everything you got here, all 65 paintings are gorgeous, bro. I gotta go to sleep though. But so like he'd be sharp in some moments, and others he'd be so out of it. So it was easy to take advantage of him, and like that kind of like set a sour tone. I didn't snitch on him, which I should have. I should have probably
Mhm.
bust him out. Like these motherfuckers have no intention of doing anything productive here. Yeah. But it just kind of set a sour tone. Let's see somebody take advantage of some dude who's so easily taken advantage, who can be so easily taken advantage of. But like we'd
Yeah.
be at the fucking these are grown, like 30 something years old. We'd be at the dinner table eating, and they'd be this couple would be texting each other across the table about the guy, talking about him, like because he was a
Yeah.
funny dude.
Mhm.
He had his quirks. It's just like foul shit like that. It's like, come on, dog. One, how old are we? And two, you gonna do it in front of the man? You in
Yeah.
his house? Come on. So anyway, you meet interesting people. I'm sure you know that in your travels, you meet interesting people, most of which I've had good experiences with, but sometimes you're able to see that side of somebody. And that's when I gotta like try to click on the understanding and compassion, but also like not let that person run over you, you know,
Yeah.
not to be walked on at all.
They probably would have had to change a tire
Yeah, it would have and the dude
had I
probably
been
would have
there.
fucking cried. He would
Yeah.
have fucking cried.
Probably don't even know how to change one.
Man, it's like, come on, man. Come on. So I think I went off on a little bit of a rant. um, but yeah, it was great. Oh, so we have a third member who's gonna pop in and say what up to the world real quick. We thought he couldn't make it, or he couldn't make it from the beginning, but of course we're happy to have the homie whenever we can.
What's
Get that.
up?
What up
Get
with you,
Dave.
man?
What's going on?
What's going
Not
on, my
much.
man? Like what we were originally talking about, like different things
Like,
that you didn't really see as like you didn't even conceive as like options until it came about in a certain way, and you were like, oh shit, like I could actually do that too. Like that's an option for me to make money, have a career, or just
or
a
just
hobby
do.
for me to get into.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like yeah. I guess an example would be like, um, I was telling him how like how I made a card game, and he was saying like he didn't even know like there was like a website out there where you can like do something like that and get a game like made. So that's kind of where that, and
Yeah.
he was saying with him, how he didn't realize that woofing was a thing, like, the organic farming, you know,
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, that's kind of where that,
Well, you can make money off of that, Wolfer.
Off wolfing.
Typically, no. We did come across some. Like I actually did make money in some situations, but it's typically you shouldn't count on that. It's all like it's kind of like a scratch each other's back kind of thing. Like you give me room and board, and I agree to do this certain amount of work. And the plan is to like actually hopefully learn something that you could take home and implement in your own life, like eating better, like eating from the foods that you have in your own on your own land, so you know where it's coming from because you're adding to the soil, blah blah blah, shit like that. But it was a mind blowing. I was telling Adam that like I used to want to be a meteorologist when I was younger, even to the point where like we were in the first time we went to Disney World. I stayed in a fucking hotel room at least 3 or 4 days watching storm stories with with fucking meteorologist Jim Cantori. I still remember. And my aunt was like, "What is wrong with you, dog? I spent all this goddamn
Weather
money."
Channel.
Yeah, man.
Al Roker.
yeah.
Al Roker is a child hero.
Yeah.
Probably
His bow
more so my
ties.
brother. My brother, I feel like used to. I don't know if he wanted to be a meteorologist, but I know he was like really into it. Like we would watch the Weather Channel too, like all those storm stories and tornado stories and
Yeah.
stuff.
Dog, I was
And they had
fucking
the local
addicted.
weather.
Yeah. And because like typically people would just watch it just to get like whatever your weather was for the day, the week.
Yeah.
Or when you had to
Hear a
watch the
little
weather
bit.
channels to see to see if your school was going to flash across that screen to see if it was closed for the day. I couldn't wait for that shit.
I was gonna say you could hear a little soft jazz on the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was good times, bro. But like, yeah, it blew my mind. I was telling Adam that I was on a shuttle bus on campus in the IUPUI, and somebody had mentioned woofing, and I was like, wait, you mean that option is for me too? People like me too? Like I could do that? What? Farming? And the most ridiculous thing is my aunt and my grandfather specifically have been big into like master gardeners for years, like since I can remember. So it wasn't like I wasn't exposed to it. It just never hit me that like I could do it too, you know? And then I listened to Allison and Pharrell, and he said you could do it too, literally. But you could do it too, young blood. Yeah. But Marcus, you got any one of those, dog? That like off the top of your head that you could think of, or it's like a moment where you were like, oh damn, like that's a real possibility.
Are we talking about specifically things we can make money off of?
No.
No,
anything.
Just think like things that you found out existed that you didn't realize existed. Like, oh, well, cool. Like, I don't know if that's
yeah. Even if it's like a way, even if it's like a way that provided a means to doing what you wanted to do, like or to doing something that you were interested in, but just never thought that you would ever get the opportunity or have the option to do it.
That's actually a very good question.
I feel like that might have happened more times in my life than I can remember, than like I actually think,
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those the perks of being like somewhat open-minded, instead of like closing yourself out to what you can do.
Yeah.
But I can't think of one just right off the top, but
yeah.
One that applies to like right now, like since I'm like on break at work, is that I always thought like driving trucks and stuff was like super dangerous, and I never would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up and just hearing people talk about it, but it's really not. It's not that big of a deal. It can be scary or nervous at times. It make you nervous at times, but it's just once you get the hang of it, it's not a big deal. Like
no, that's a good one, though.
Yeah, that I never thought I would do or would want to do, but I feel like the danger factor always was like looming in my head when I was little, like just thinking about it, but not that
yeah,
bad.
me too. I feel like I still feel that way. I just haven't
Yeah.
been about like I still feel that way about about those semis, man.
Yeah, me too.
I still feel the way,
I,
dog.
man, I saw one yesterday flipped over, like the trailer.
Yeah.
So it was just the trailer. The truck, I think they had probably towed the truck off somewhere or he drove off, but it was just the trailer was upside down on. Did you see that, Marcus? Because you might have. It was on 8094.
No, I've just seen that a lot of times.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know how they do it, and it's easy to do if you like coming off the exit ramp and you're going too fast and you turning, but the front doesn't necessarily tip. The trailer, since it's like kind of tall or whatever, it starts to tip, and if you turn too fast, you can do that. But it's honestly kind of hard to do that.
Yeah,
to flip your truck.
I was gonna say I feel like the only way you could do that is if you're just being careless, like you just being an idiot,
pretty much.
like trying to drive like it's a Porsche and not a humongous truck.
Yeah.
Well,
it's weird how when you drive for a little bit, it's like when you drive a car for a while, you start to know what you can do, what type of turns you could make, and what type of spots you could fit in. And it's the same with trucks. Like you will start to understand the dimensions of it and what you can do and stuff.
Yeah.
So it becomes a little less nerve-wracking.
See, that makes a lot of sense. It makes sense. Right now it's just there's still that veil of a barrier in between knowing, like theoretically being like it makes 100% sense, but I haven't jumped in that motherfucker and really given it a try yet. Because I mean, I drive the vans and shit, and even sometimes in the vans, bro, because they're high profile vehicles. When the wind's blowing enough, bro, that motherfucker will have me on the highway going 30 miles an hour, dog. Bro, like the van will for real be shaking, and I'm like, yo, this is. Some people are like flying by me going 80, 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I guess just a reminder to be careful, but like it just put things in perspective because I'm so used to driving lower profile vehicles, and I don't have those issues. Like maybe one time in our Prius, we ran fucking Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and I just started driving around one of those Hot Wheels. But other than that, nah.
Original Ant-Man. Oh,
yeah.
Not really original.
Nah, there were a couple times, man. Like I had never really felt that too much in a low profile vehicle like the Prius. I think one time we were in Montana and it almost blew us into the winds are crazy on that. Like it literally pushed the nose of the vehicle into oncoming traffic. It was crazy.
Hey.
And so like whenever I'm going 70, 80 miles an hour in the Sprinter vans and the wind gets a little crazy, it kind of keeps me a little rough. Yeah, keeps me a little wiser on the road.
Yeah.
Adam saw the truck I was driving. Yeah, a little box truck.
yeah, I saw. Yeah, I meant to mention it that week on the podcast, but yeah, like a couple weeks ago, like I was on the toll road driving home, and then I'm just driving, and I hear someone honking the horn. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I'm just chilling. I look over, and I can't see. My window was like super dirty because this is around the time where like it kept snowing and not snowing, so it was like really just dirty from that salt, like mist coming off the trucks. So I couldn't really see. And I was like, and then I like, that's got to be Marcus. And then he took the exit. I
was trailing him for a while.
You were on his tail?
I was on his tail, but my truck only goes like 79. But he was getting it. I don't even remember how fast he was going, but I was trying to flip him off. Bro, he had the best like discipline ever, man. He was not indulging with my road rage.
I would love to know what Adam was thinking and like, or what you were saying to yourself in that moment.
At first, he was just like straight ahead, and then he looked over. I could tell he didn't know it was me at first.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this, man? Because like I'm like, yeah, I was locked in. Like, I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I was probably in deep thought or something. But yeah, I
I
just felt like,
identified your stickers, so I knew it was you.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
word.
yeah.
Yeah. Was it the fuck bitches get money one? No, that's a funny coincidence. Isn't it interesting? I mean, like we come together just about every week to talk and hang out, and talk about the week or whatever, talk about life. But like it's an interesting thing when, especially with me also having a driving gig, whenever I see some of my friends who I haven't seen in a while, it's just like such a giddy moment, man. Like if I see him last minute making a turn, I saw my homie a couple months ago making a left turn, he was making a right. And it was just that moment of like, oh, put my hand to it, oh, no, And well, I don't know why it feels good. Like I'd say 99% of the time it feels good, man.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a giddy
I
moment.
just saw an old friend recently, but I felt bad because I couldn't talk. I was like, it was in a bad time. I had my kids, and my daughter was like roaming away, and I was like, it was just super awkward. I was like, all right, man, I'll talk. Like I wanted to talk to him, but it was just like,
Yeah.
I'll holler at you.
I've been in situations like that. Just recently, I saw Aaron. I don't think you know this guy, but John Persley. John Persley
Oh
the
yeah.
third.
What school did he go to? Actually, it sounds familiar.
Banneker, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Banneker, and then I think he went to maybe Tolleson. Well, I think it's Banneker,
Word.
Tolleson, West Side.
It might have been it might have been just the name that one of you guys have talked about enough times, but it sounds familiar.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Y'all go ahead.
All right. He about to hit a lick. He about to hit a lick. Coming out with that COVID mask on. Oh man. No, but you saw your friend though?
I mean, I wouldn't really call him a friend. He just somebody I just went to
School
that I
with a
hadn't
bit.
seen in like 20 years. And I'm surprised he recognized me because I wouldn't have recognized him. But he came up to me like, it took me a minute to realize who he was.
That's the worst thing when you don't remember, but they remember you. And I'm just like, Doug, I don't. It's awkward every time. It's like I want to like you. I want to like you right now. I mean, I just don't know if I should.
Yeah,
you gotta love it, man.
Yeah, it's always awkward. It's always the most awkward when you run into someone you knew from like high school, but you wasn't that close with. So it's like, well, what do you say? Like,
yeah.
like,
or when you see them, if I even I see somebody who I'm cool with, I guess not like this level of cool, but like somebody who I'm could consider a friend, but haven't seen them in forever. And then you see him 6 more times in the building that you're in the mall or whatever. It's like, yo, I said bye already, dog. Go the other way. Come on, man. What you doing?
Like when you say like bye or whatever, but you end up walking in the same direction.
Same direction?
Yeah, a minute. Again, like, all right, bye again.
I've actually been so embarrassed where like I walked the other direction to make it seem like I was parked there, and I waited for them to go somewhere, and I walked back around.
Like if you checking your phone.
Yeah, I had to like play it off, act like I had to run and get something, or fucking blow some money at the food court when I had just got done eating, just to like continue just to make my story legit. But yeah, talk about embarrassing, bro. But those are really the ones when I just see somebody over and over. It's like, all right, man. Come on, man.
Now y'all gotta be friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so, dog. I guess so. Man, yo, by the way, how's everybody's week, man? Or I guess last 2 weeks, because I missed a couple, I've been honestly, it's just because I've been touring so much lately. That nah, but you guys like anything? I realized like, yo, anything worth mentioning happened to you guys this last week or two? Any, principle wise, you know how we do, man. You know how we do on here sometimes.
Principle wise, I don't know about that, but I know like you know those days where like we got that snow where like it was like maybe 2 weeks ago where it was a major-ish snowish snow. it wasn't crazy snow, but it was enough, to
Mhm.
call it a storm. Well, I actually I actually went off the road, that ramp on Ripley, like when you
Mm.
coming on the Ripley going towards like the TA truck stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yes.
remember
So
that
I
TA.
was coming up that ramp slow. I wasn't doing anything crazy. Then I just started sliding, and I went off into that ramp. But the good thing is I didn't go like way to the bottom of it. I was probably like
Mhm.
maybe like 15 feet from the street.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, that sucks. So I tried to just drive up, but then of course my wheels were just spinning. But then, like sometimes if you change the orientation of your wheels, you'll move, or like maybe you reverse. And so I got
Mhm.
to a point where I was able to actually start driving up. So I'm itching up. But then my wheels start spinning again, and then I get to a point where I'm pretty close. I'm maybe like 8 feet away from the street now. And then this semi truck comes by and he stops or whatever. And like, this dude about to help. And then that's what happens. He gets out and he helps him, whatever. But it was funny because he had these giant US Air Force stickers on the side of his truck. And you know me, I'm not a patriotic, I'm
Yeah.
not, but I like, were you in the Air Force by chance? He's like, yeah, I did this, blah blah blah. And I was like, I just thought it was cool that we just happened to both be. And how many times do you see a semi truck stop to pull somebody out of it? I mean, that's just not
Yeah.
something you see.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool, man. That's very cool.
But what's funny and what made it feel kind of lame though was um
am I gonna take my that's very cool back after this?
no, 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 no. But it looks very dramatic. So it's
Oh.
snowing, it's windy, it's the wind's blowing, and he's pulling me out. But he has this American flag on the back of his truck, this giant American flag. So it's
Mhm.
like blowing in the wind, and he's like pulling me out. It's like this. This is like this dramatic scene.
I was like a scene from Braveheart or something.
Yeah,
He's like, oh man, that's great. That's
yeah. I just
great.
thought I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Everybody saluting up. Everybody saluting on the side.
You see a line of cars just pulling off to the right side of the road and honking and shit.
That was
everybody has their right hand to their heart and shit.
yeah. What makes this so great is I actually have it recorded. So now I'm definitely gonna put the video on here.
Throw some fucking you gotta throw the right music on there too. That
I
would
know,
be
yo.
great. Oh.
Get that man a raise. Get him a raise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yo, that shit reminds me of a
Oh yeah, I
time where
forgot.
like,
There's
go ahead.
there's a second part to the story.
Okay.
Then the second day, I actually went off the road again, but this time I was on 8094 and I start sliding, just kind of going like 45 degrees. Then I end up going off the road, but then I end up just straightening out somehow, and then I ended up back on the street, just going straight like nothing happened. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Bro, I do not miss all that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing I don't miss about the snow. I love most of it, but like the black
Yeah.
ice and all that shit, like
Yeah, and I wasn't even going. Like, what's crazy is like in both instances, I was just going like relatively slow. I wasn't swerving or anything. I was just, and then
yeah,
just out of nowhere.
you're at the mercy of
Yep.
you're at the
Yeah.
mercy of it at that point, man. Ain't too much you could do.
I've been kind of fortunate this season. I thought I would have got stuck at
Yeah.
one of these times, but I didn't.
Oh yeah. You mean like
It was
work wise or just in general?
just even in my personal vehicle,
Okay.
because it was a few days where it was just like straight ice on these roads.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's been challenging for me. I commute obviously from Gary to the west suburbs, so like this on Friday when it snowed, I I was hesitant, but I knew there was something I needed to drop off at this one drop site. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just drop this off, and I'm just going back home. And I'm gonna just work from from home. And then as I was driving home, I'm like, the roads are actually not bad anymore. But I already made the decision, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah.
So
You got to see that one through.
But that type of freedom, that's probably the thing I love about my job the most. Is I could make that decision. No one's gonna be like, no, you can't do that. Like it's like, but
about that time. Well, look, let me tell you this quick story about meeting Charles Barkley in a
Walgreens.
It wasn't super dramatic, but like I just stood next to him longer than I needed to because I was like, I'm gonna ask him if he likes podcasts. So I just, but the words didn't come out. So I was just like standing there acting like I was going to continue shopping, but I really didn't have nothing else to buy as I was contemplating what I was, But so he's already in there. I walk in and like I'm in. You know how like there's two different sections. So like he's further down in the aisle than me, like past like where you have to like go past several openings to get to other aisles to like continue down the same aisle. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I can see him from afar. Oh, actually, I didn't see him from afar yet because I was like I saw him, but I didn't recognize it was him at the time. Yeah, because I was looking for some gas relief, and straight up. So by the time I get there, he's in the gas X like gas relief section because your boy was having some bloating. I was trying to handle this bloating real quick, and I just
real quick, hey, where else would you imagine him? Like, I don't know if I was to guess like where he would be, that probably would be it.
Yeah. That was great. I mean, he was super nice to me, but like when I walked, as I got closer, I could tell that him and what I realized then was as I got closer was an employee. They were kind of employee going at it. Like the first thing I heard him say was, "Do y'all have it in stock or not?" And he was asking her like, "Yo, so you can't go in the back? I mean, like, is it do you have it?" And she was saying like, "I told you already." And like they were doing it like a little gentler than that, but I could tell they were like irritated. So I could tell he was already irked. And I eventually realized like I shouldn't ask him. I shouldn't bother him about a fucking podcast while he's like feeling that way. But so I grabbed my gas X. He's standing right next to me on the right hand side. And he looks down. I was like, "What's up, brother?" I was like, "What's going on, man?" I've never been that dude who was like. Typically, I just wouldn't say, "No, I'm not going to ask for a picture and all that stuff." Usually, but then I was like, "So I'm like, what's going on?" And he's like, kind of small talk, but still talking with her. And he's looking at me like, "Man, this place is a waste of time, yo." And asked me how I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Are you looking for the same thing?" Just little bullshit conversation. Cause I'm like, and I'm standing there way too long to see if I'm about to get my shot off real quick. Am I about to get this joke off or not? Am I about to get this shot off or not, son? And finally he was like, "My man," he was like, "Brother, have a good day, man. Yo, this place is a waste of time." And then walked out.
He boxed you out.
Yeah. So I was like trying to keep my cool. I figured I'd leave it all on the court, but it was.
I could totally see him going back and forth with an employee, though. I mean, that's like, of course he would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying he's a bad guy or anything. I'm not saying he's a
not
bad
at all,
guy.
not at all.
He's just very like.
He's that way on the show, on
rubbing everybody the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He plays that part well on the show. Like against him and Shaq are always disagreeing and different things,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it was just an interesting encounter, man. He was it's worth saying he was very nice and cool, even while he was being irked by this employee, which I don't know. He could have been in the wrong in a situation. But, my man just wanted like the top of the line gas. Or like he wanted the top of the line gas treatment. Or he wanted the lactose maximum strength, and all they had was the ultra or whatever. I don't know, but I don't know, man.
Hey, I could imagine like famous people like asking if you have something else in the back.
Yeah,
like people.
Yeah,
that's like something
that's special.
Yeah,
like let me get that one in the back. I think that most people like have come to terms with like what's on the shelf is what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be like a old school thing that you got like a special stash in the back.
Yeah. Back in the day. Like,
Yeah. He's looking at him like, come on, man. You know Maggie Johnson cured age. Come on, man. You know, he got over his age. You know, you got something in the back for me. Come on. Come on.
Should have told him to call Magic.
Yeah, that's supply chain ain't what it was.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, that was so that was like the highlight, man. That was something I had to get off real quick. That was good, man. But look, I feel like that's a good place to end, man. Yo, we can end with Charles Barkley. You know, we can end with the homie. One day he'll see this probably in like 10, 15 years. Somebody will dig this up for him.
He gonna be mad at you.
He got one of the greatest basketball shoes of all time, I believe. I forgot which one it was, but yeah.
Yeah, you get you'll.
Oh yeah.
You definitely got his
number on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What number was he though, really quick? Remember 34,
32?
34, 32?
Wait, yeah, 34, you're right.
34, because Magic Johnson was 32. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Man, that's back when the Suns jerseys were cool as fuck. Back then too, when he was playing. Those. They were so cool, dog. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
So
I think this is a good way to. Oh, you want to?
No, I just want to end it with saying, like, you and Charles Barkley like have something in common now.
Lactose intolerant. Too much, we got it. You got to stop at that first or second deli bar, son. You got to stop at that first deli bar.
Y'all got the bubble guts.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna be in the snippet for sure. This is gonna be snippet right now for sure. But yeah, man. I guess my bubble guts is a really good way to end the episode. Yo, of course, as always, welcome back and thank you for listening to another episode of the InforMILLy Honest podcast. I'm glad that we froze Marcus in a really happy place. Yo, we got his good side. We got his good side, yo. Yo, if you guys, we appreciate you guys for listening, and we ask that you guys rate and review. You can do that now on Apple and Spotify now as well. Feel free to leave comments, concerns, any kind of feedback you wish as well on YouTube. And if you want to reach out to us elsewhere, our email is informallyhonestpodcast@gmail.com. We are at InforMILLy Honest on Instagram. And if you are one of those motherfuckers who have Twitter, who pride yourself on your Twitter fingers, feel free to follow and communicate at InforMILLy_HP. Adam, did I miss something, man? Did your boy miss something? All right. Any last words?
Nope. Be safe.
Yeah, be safe, y'all. Thank you very much for listening. And please stay tuned and holler at us next week. Peace, y'all.
Can't look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear for my brother. I really wanna try for my brother, 'cause I truly do feel for my brother.